Computer. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Allen. I'm the president of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op, and I'd like to welcome all of our member owner candidates for the 2024 Board of Election. This evening, what we're going to do is give you, the member owners of the Food Co-op, an opportunity to learn a little about the candidates for your representation on the board of directors, as well as the opportunity to learn more about them and to vote. Later on this evening, you're going to receive an email with an opportunity for you to exercise your democratic voice in the decisions that are for the food co-op. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. And just a couple of tidbits here. We don't have a whole lot of people here, but just a reminder to keep your microphone on mute. Candidates, keep your microphone on mute until it's time for your presentation. And anybody that's on the Zoom that has a question for the candidate, we're going to give an opportunity for them to respond to those questions. If you could please put those questions in the chat. We will read those later and get an opportunity to hear from our candidates. So a little bit about the food co-op. We start every board meeting with a recitation of our mission statement. We try to ensure that our mission statement is front and center of the work that we do and the decisions that we make about the food co-op. So I'm going to read it to you all now. The Kitsap Community Food Cooperative connects our local community with quality food, products, and access to information that promotes a healthy future for our families and our planet. Together, we work toward a world where mutually beneficial relationships exist between producers and purchasers. And I always like you, as you heard that and read that, to always think about what does that mean to you and how, as a member owner of the co-op, you can contribute to our furthering our mission. So, about our elections. We're going to be electing a group of people today that are going to represent you as a member owner of the co-op. So what do member owners or board members do? As member owner representatives of the co-op, they provide an oversight to the overall operations of the co-op. That's the operations of the store, our fiduciary responsibilities, and most importantly, planning for our future. We draft policy and develop long-range strategy aligned with our mission, and we assist in facilitating the work of board committees. Here's a call to all of you that are listening. The 10 people that are going to be serving on this board are not enough for us to be able to meet our goals. And we have board committees and opportunities for member owners and other community members to join in on the work as we further our mission and serving our community. So that's just a mild call for, if you're not running for a board position, we'd still love to have you as part of our committees to help us move our work forward. So a little bit about our board currently. Here are our current intrepid 5 board members. Myself, Jeff Allen. Wendy Pond is our treasurer. Her term expires this year, and so she's going to be leaving the co-op, at least on the board. But if you've been into the store lately, you know Wendy, because she's here all the time. And the work that she's put in, just volunteering, the time that she spent in serving the co-op is beyond the call. And so just a quick thank you to Wendy. Also want to call out Alyssa Torgensen. She's been serving as our clerk. She also maintains all of our board records, a lot of the website, a lot of the graphics, a lot of great stuff that Alyssa's been doing. Alyssa's been with the co-op for a number of years. Her term is expiring this year as well, and want to call out a thank you to Alyssa. Also, Erin Howell. She's been a director of the board on the board for the last 3 years. Erin is just a dynamic community member. She's always engaged in a lot of things, and she's helped us to be able to find ways to reach out and expand our reach in our community. And so Erin's leaving the board at the end of this term, and we want to extend a thank you to her. Another thank you to someone that's going to stick around, Ashley Martinez. Ashley is also the owner of Ashley's Pub in downtown Bremerton. She's been on the board for us with us for 3 years, and Ashley is super connected in the community and the business community, and she's been able to assist us and make those further connections. So, and Ashley is our vice president. Thank you for reminding me. And Wendy, excuse me. So Ashley and I are going to be staying on the board, but we've got 8 new candidates for the board. Well, we'll introduce those in a moment. A little bit about our board. Our bylaws allow for 10 board members. We currently have 5 members, and 3 of those terms are expiring. So we're going to have 8 positions. And luckily enough, we've got 8 candidates running for the board. After this meeting, you will receive via email a ballot where you can select up to 8 votes per ballot. We have 8 candidates, you have 8 votes, you decide. And then that election will run through Sunday evening, August 25th, at which time over social media we'll announce the results of the election. By the way, typically a board member serves for 3 years. And so we are facing a challenge that we as a board will work together on. We have 8 people that are running right now, which means if we run a 3-year term, those 8 members would be running for re-election again in 3 years, which makes it problematic. We don't want to be in this situation where we have nearly a complete turnover of our board. So we may have some board members that will elect to have a shorter term just so that we can maintain balance and then rerun again. All right. So here are our candidates. David Albright, James Duffy, Patrick Hickey, Annette Haushen, Allison Loris, Heather Pugh, Amanda Rendels, and Gregory Stanek. So in a few moments, each candidate is going to get an opportunity to share with you all a little bit about their reason why they're running for the board and what's important to them about the food co-op. At the end, once again, if you have questions, please submit those on the chat. And then we will, at the end of everybody's presentation, give the board candidates an opportunity to give a response to that question. Just one note, we have one of the candidates that's missing tonight. Heather Pugh is out of town right now and was unable to attend this session, but she did submit a video recording of her presentation. So when it comes to be her turn, we will play that video. So let's get started. I'm going to turn this off and come back to our full view on the Brady Bunch screen. Our first candidate in alphabetical order is David Albright. So David, I welcome you to unmute your mic and introduce yourself.
Okay, hi everybody. So yes, I'm David Albright. I served on the board of the co-op from 2019 to 2022. So I'm fairly familiar with how it all worked, at least back then, a few years ago. I'll say I got into food co-ops in my first couple years out of college. It was, I guess, early aughts. And like a lot of people in college, I was really learning a lot about sustainability and just learning a lot about like the things it would take to keep our Earth habitable for many generations to come. And at the same time, I was also learning a lot about big kind of economic forces and specifically Walmart. I did a big research project on Walmart in college and just learning the effects of big mega retail corporations and how it affects local economies, decimating main streets, and also using their leverage and their huge economies of scale to affect the businesses they work with and doing all kinds of negative things. And so when I discovered food co-ops, it kind of brought those two things together. And it felt like a place where I could make an impact on both those things without having to go out of my way. It was just like, oh, I could just shop here instead of at Fred Meyer and make an impact on all these things that I care about. And so I always was a big fan of food co-ops. When I moved to Bremerton, found out we had a food co-op, or so I thought, because I saw a sign, and it turns out it was the co-op existed, but not the store. And so that's when I started getting involved with helping to get the store running in 2019, and then joined the board for a couple years and took a couple years off, but here I am again. So that's me. My professional life, I am a video producer, journalist, writer, social media manager. So look forward to bringing all those things to the co-op.
Right on. Thank you very much, David. Next up is James Duffy.
Hi, everybody. My name is James. I'm a proud Kitsap Washingtonian. I spent a lot of years here, both in my youth and as an adult. Growing up around Kitsap Lake and having spent a few years out in central Washington, watching our apples grow out in Wenatchee. Uh, I developed an appreciation for the community-based organization and local farming. It really showed me a lot of, where our food and fruit starts and where it ends up at the end of the chain. Seeing the local red apple up the street sell, the local meat down the road when I was a kid, and finding out that it's just not becoming a thing anymore. That's one of the things that drove me to the co-op, is also the fact that living down in downtown Bremerton now, it's one of the only grocery stores in Bremerton, in the downtown sphere. If I want to walk anywhere to get food, my options are not good for grocery stores. Got to cross a bridge to get to SARS or go miles to go to Winco. But the co-op is in that nice little nest right in between. And even if it moved around, I hope it's right nearby so we can keep it going, because I love that aspect of it. And with that, I bring my technical aspect and my years out at Target out in downtown Seattle. Just pre-COVID, I was there 2019, 2020, and got to see how people react to a changing store. I was part of the remodel team, so we literally were changing out their Target. You have people coming in that are upset that, why'd you move my lemons? That's just how lemons move. And the understanding that people definitely need a more close to home feel for their produce, for the things that they're getting, and recognition that the local items near them are the best option, even in the long run, even in the short term. With that, I aim to advocate for transparent solutions and fresh perspectives. I'm only 23 out of all of this. I've been just working on this since I was a kid, so it feels like I've been doing this for years. Yeah, I'm eager to continue my learning and continue developing my skills. But with that, I hope to bring everything I can to the board and help guide us into a very successful direction. Thank you for considering me. I hope you have a good one.
Thank you very much, James. Next up is candidate Patrick Hickey.
Hello, everybody. Again, I'm Patrick Hickey. I strongly believe that giving of yourself to the community is vitally important. Giving your talents, energy, and heart strengthens communities, which help make communities thrive and grow in positive ways. The town, which has folks that give and participate in their communities, develop into enjoyable and warm places to live, which we see in Bremerton. The opportunity to serve on the Kitsap Community Food Co-op is one way I would like to spend my time, experience, and energy. I've always admired and sought out community co-ops. The first one I saw was in Moscow, Idaho, when I was attending graduate school. I absolutely adored that place. It was so inviting, so comfortable, and it was a place where people not only bought great food and local products, but they all interacted, communicated, and gravitated towards that place. And then once I got out of college and got my first real job, I was working in Montana as a contractor for the Evil Oil Company. But mind you, that only lasted 4 days. I had the opportunity to visit the co-op in Bozeman, Montana, which was also just phenomenal. And every time me and my husband visit the wonderful town of Port Townsend, we never leave without stopping through the co-op there. I'm always amazed at the quality of stuff they have there. It's wonderful. But even before college and high school, having lived in California's breadbasket, the Central Valley, I knew the importance of venues that serve and build a community through wholesome food. I was fortunate enough to be around so many farmers markets back then. They were all over the place and they were wonderful. But then after high school, I joined the Navy, went to the nuclear power program. While it's an incredibly structured and well-run program, I thought that being a little more organic was my calling. So I became a soil scientist and an environmental protection specialist and worked for the federal government. Now I work for the EPA. I'm the guy who cleans up the nastiest of contaminated sites. I work to make sure that folks' health and well-being are protected and that their water, air, and land are brought back to the condition they were before they got really nasty. The position has given me a lot of tools. It's allowed me to look at the contracting world. It's allowed me to look at project management. It's allowed me to deal with multiple balls in the air and attempting not to drop any of them. It's also reinforced my desire to support the environment in as many ways as I possibly can. And the opportunity of being able to give my time, experience, and energy to this co-op does so much to support the community and the environment is a huge plus in my book. I've since grown older and wiser to some extent, and I've become a member of this great community. But the culmination of my life's experiences still guide me. And the key one is that community is important and caring for it is an honor. And I feel that so many people have put so much of themselves into this co-op and the structures that support it, that it would be an honor and a privilege to continue those efforts. I honestly feel that this co-op is on the cusp of growing larger and more vibrantly into an indispensable Bremerton institution. And other co-ops I've been around in the past, they have become just that. They are the key points in their communities. So I'd love the chance to build from my heart and soul and efforts that other people have given this community, enhancing venue and help make Bremerton that much better of a community. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Patrick. Well done. If you can mute your mic. And then our next person up is Annette Houchen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Annette, and for the past 27 years, I've worked for Habitat for Humanity. So housing has always been very dear to my heart, but I also believe that housing and food go hand in hand. And I've always believed that. And when we lived in Indiana, we moved here 12 years ago, or in 2019, but we lived in Indiana for 12 years. And we grew a huge garden, and it really started getting me interested in growing food. At the affiliate where I was at, we started doing community gardens as part of a revitalization program that we had through Habitat, and that really interested me. And then when we moved here, we bought a really small place with a small yard, but I'm determined. We cut trees, and I got a couple of raised beds, and I am growing food again at a much smaller level. And it's very challenging here in Washington, nothing like Indiana. Wow. It's been very challenging, but I'm learning. And I really believe that people should grow more of their own food. I think that would help tremendously with the grocery store crisis that we're in. And I also believe that there's a lot of land that we could turn into more community gardens. I would be a big advocate for that. But as far as the co-op goes, I've always liked the food co-op, and I've always liked the idea of the mission of the co-op. But full disclosure, I just want to put it out there that my daughter is the store manager. So Emily's my daughter. But when she said she got the job at the food co-op, I was just really excited. I'm like, gosh, that's so great. So how can I help? And so she has You know, she told me, she goes, "Annette, Mom, you need to join the board." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I'd be a good fit. You know, I'm housing, right?" Well, when I got to thinking about it, I really think that I could bring something to the board. I have sat on boards for about the past 20 years. I've fund development experience, strategic planning, and some finance experience. And so I really think that I could be an asset as far as helping the co-op grow on the back end and not the front end. Again, I'm not a salesperson, but I am someone who really deeply cares about eating healthy and growing food. And I would just love to have the opportunity to serve on the board. I need to mute, right?
Thank you very much. Next up is Allison Loris.
Hi, I was on the co-op's first board of the steering committee that incorporated as the co-op morphed into the first board. And I do things in kind of limited high intensity bursts. So I served only 1 year on that first board. And what I brought to it then was just my knowledge of co-ops as a consumer and a member owner. I've been involved with co-ops since 1970, when some of you were not born and some of your possibly parents were not born. But I have something different to bring now. I wanted to get involved again because the co-op is going through some problems right now that I think can be solved with enough people working hard together. And it is hard work to be on the board, which is why I haven't done it for a number of years, but I'm ready to do it again. And what I bring now is the knowledge of a working downtown grocery store. My husband and I founded Volca's Mediterranean Market about 2.5 years ago, a block and a half away from the co-op. And from the beginning, we have seen Volca's and the co-op not as competitors, but as allies in bringing good food to the center of Bremerton, which is the center of Kitsap. And we are constantly sending people to the co-op for things we don't sell, often people who've never heard of the co-op, and vice versa. I know co-op staff has always sent people to Volca's for things that the co-op doesn't carry. So I bring a different kind of everyday knowledge of how grocery stores work. And I'd also be really excited to work with David on social media stuff, because that's been one of the things I turned out to be very good at in promoting Volca's. We have almost 1,800 followers in 2 years on Facebook, for example. So, no, I think the bigger and the more diverse the board is, the more frustrating and exhausting it will be for all of us, and the more we will achieve.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Allison. We're so glad to see you come back. Next is Heather Pugh. And as I mentioned earlier, Heather is not available tonight. She's, to be perfectly transparent for her, she's on a boat. And she couldn't join this meeting tonight, so we have a video. So I'm going to switch to share her video here. And we'll play her presentation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Pugh. Some of you know me as Hetty. I'm excited to be running for a position on the KCFC board, whose mission aligns with my own values my passion for healthy local products and community. Good food is central to my lifestyle. It was one of the features that drew my husband and I to Bremerton 6 years ago. When we discovered that there was a co-op, that sealed the deal. What I appreciate most about our co-op is knowing that what we're buying is primarily local, and this has fostered a deeper connection to our region. It feels good to support local food systems and being less reliant on big grocery store chains. For me personally, it's also about having a lively community space. A while back, I ran into 2 friends shopping at the co-op, then I met a fellow sailor, and then we all ended up getting to know each other. These interactions remind me of the special role our co-op plays as a hub of community life. But it's also the democratic structure where members have a say in the co-op's direction that strengthens the sense of belonging and shared ownership. Professionally, I spent over 2 decades in multi-channel retail and tech in roles in operations, project management, program management. I've managed teams, processes, communications programs, and introduced efficiency tools. So altogether, they've equipped me with skills that I feel I can contribute to the co-op's growth and success. This year, I joined the co-op's business development committee, and in that short time, I was so inspired by the talented, hardworking board and their aspirations for the future of the co-op. So serving on the board would allow me to apply my skills in support of the board's mission to promote local food systems and foster a vibrant, connected community. Thanks for your consideration.
And I will say in abstention, thank you, Heather. Next up is Amanda Reynolds.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I am a longtime member owner, and I've been a weekly volunteer now for 2 years on Thursday mornings. During my time volunteering, I've enjoyed getting to know the people who make the co-op function, from the store employees and member owners to the farmers and vendors. I'm interested in joining the board because I want to take my involvement up to the next level. I can do research, community outreach, and act as support for other board members. The co-op means community that is worth working for. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amanda. And finally, our last candidate is Gregory Stanek. Greg.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Just like Jeff said, my name is Greg Stanek, or Gregory Stanek. I kind of go by either. Currently, right now, my wife and I co-own Frog Soap, where I'm sitting right now. And I also I work on the shipyard, although I'm resigning from that position at the end of September. And just looking to kind of get back involved in the community and really just kind of dig down into kind of the things I value. So one of the things we were asked to do was talk about what the co-op means to us. And I think it's just right in the name, right? Kitsap Community Food Co-op. So the 2 big things that jump out to me are food and community. I love food. I like to cook. So I'm always looking for, quality ingredients. I like to find local ingredients because I just know that they tend to have better quality, right? They haven't been sitting in a truck in a nitrogen-rich environment for who knows how long. I know that they're probably not using chemicals that I can't name the names of. And I like them. And I think that food helps us build our community, right? So I think of, potlucks, dinners with my friends, grilling out on the deck in the summer. Those are all things that we can help with. And then beyond that, right, the Kitsap Community Food Co-op is out there in the community, supporting local farms, local vendors. They support us. They sell some of our products, right? So it's just something I really want to contribute to. I think I bring a lot of skills. Prior to me being in the shipyard, I was in the Marines, so I have a lot of leadership experience from that. Right now in the shipyard, I do recruiting. Obviously, I'm doing recruiting for employment and jobs, but I think I could use a lot of those skills I learned to help us find new members. And then in my spare time, I'm also enrolled in University of Washington Tacoma's Master of Science in Business Analytics. Sorry, it's kind of a big mouthful. So I really want to help the Kitsap Community Food Co-op collect better data. And I don't want to scare anyone when I say that. When I say data, it can be like anonymized, right? Like, when are our most popular times? What are the best selling products? What's the weather like when those products sell? So collect the right data to help us make informed decisions to grow and expand. So yeah, that's why I'm running for one of the board seats. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Right on. Thank you very much, Greg. And thank you. Let me click my slide here. Thank you to all of our candidates. Once again, David Albright, James Duffy, Patrick Hickey, Annette Houchen, Allison Loris, Heather Pugh, Amanda Reynolds, and Greg Stanek. So what's next? Well, it's time to vote. Shortly this evening, this is Wednesday, August 21st, member owners will receive a ballot in their email, which gives them a link to submit their votes for our board members. The election will be running through Sunday, August 25th until 6 p.m., after which we will make an announcement on social media about the results of the election. And then we're going to post this forum up onto our Facebook page here shortly this evening as well, so folks can see that. I have to tell you, I've had the opportunity and privilege to be a part of this co-op for actually quite a while. And I am more excited right now about the future of this co-op with the people that you see on this screen than I have been ever. We have a lot of work ahead of us. We have this tiny little store, and we want to make sure that it stays successful. But we also have a vision to move into the future, and maybe that means moving into a bigger space so that we can better serve our community. And on top of that, it's our work in positioning ourselves with the broader food system in Kitsap County. That includes all the producers, all the retail outlets, all the institutional buyers like the farmers markets and the food banks and the like. Kitsap Community Food Co-op is an integral part of the food system in Kitsap County, and we just want to take that the next step further. So rest assured, member owners, you have a great slate of candidates to represent you and to help us move forward into the future. So with that, I want to say thank you. Let everybody give all the member owners. You guys are seeing member owners, so everybody wave to the member owners. All right. And thank you very much. Following this video, your ballots will be available. Thank you very much, everybody.